This guy makes over $500,000 a month just making raw YouTube videos like this. And one of the most important things when we look at his channel and what has worked for him in the past when he started a year to 2 years ago was he went viral with these sort of thumbnails. Now, what's the difference between this thumbnail and this thumbnail? They're both raw, but here's the thing, right? His background, if you look at his background here and here, his background adds authority. So here we can see Dubai. Yeah, you may not instantly recognize it, but the ocean and the blue tint on the whole thumbnail makes it very easy to separate him from the background. Plus, he's wearing a gold watch. That itself adds a lot more credibility to him. Here too, you can see a gold watch. You can see the, I believe it's the 2 comma club, or yeah, the 2 comma club. And then here too, you can see a watch, you can see Dubai, and the background is not distracting you. The background is not super complicated. Here too, yes, there's the bookshelf, there's a couple things, but again, it's not distracting you because more than half the background is just buildings. Whereas now, if you look at the more recent stuff, his background is definitely way more aesthetic. I agree, but William, if you're watching this, tilt the camera angle a little bit so that the background is the nature, not so much the door and the other stuff. Because what's happening is, first of all, that background doesn't add any credibility to you, whereas previously, a year or 2 years ago, it was. And the other thing is that the tone, the colors of the stuff in your background, the wall and everything, is super pretty, it's fucking beautiful, but it's not helping you pop out more because it's all in the same color range, right? It's all more yellow tone. And so that's really what's causing one major issue, which just it's standing out. Now, definitely you see here, these worked better because there's more distance between you and the background. It still shows the raw vibe, it's still, all of that. I would recommend you to focus more on using this background in general when you're filming the content because it's gonna just you pop more. But lighting is important, right? So here it's better, here it's quite worse, the lighting. Also, another thing is when you look at all of the thumbnails that have worked in the past for William Brown, they all look like they are in the middle of the action. So even though he has got no text on, it's not like he's just looking away, right? It's like he's talking. Here too, it looks like he's talking. Here too, if not talking, at least he looks like he's posing for the camera, so it looks intentional. And then if we look here too, it's like he's thinking, he's talking, you know. Here he's showing you something, so there's action. Here again, he's talking while he's got text, and I think this is probably not a bad strategy to experiment more with. Here, middle of action, he's showing a Rolex. Here again, he's in the middle of talking. There's some action going on. Here, the action is the Stripe payment screenshot. It's not Stripe. Don't know what that is. Just bank payment, I guess. Here, there's action because there's text. You see, so all of these have action. Even this has action, right? It's in the middle of talking. Here too, he's got a pen in his hand. He's explaining something. Whereas if you look at the more recent stuff, whereas if you look at this, for example, yes, he's posing for the camera, but it doesn't feel like he is super interested. He's not super authoritative, not super serious. Here too, like yes, he's talking, but it's not as clear. First of all, because the face is a little further back. It exudes the right vibe, this thumbnail, but it doesn't make me seem like he's going to say something extremely serious, something extremely important. Again, if you look at what has worked, it looks like something serious, something serious, something serious, something serious, right? Or here, I mean, he's smiling, I guess, because that makes sense with the title, which is "I sold my company to a private equity firm for millions." So yeah, I mean, that is just a couple little things. I also think he should experiment a little bit more with some thumbnails like these, although I don't think it's the vibe that he wants to exude, but maybe not this, right? Maybe this is too much, but I like the text. And maybe I would also say just blur the background out a little bit because that's going to solve the issue of the background that I talked about early on, right? So blur the background or make it, a slightly darker shade so that you pop out from the background. It'll help. This is too overdone in my opinion. It doesn't really fit the vibe of the channel or the vibe of the content. So it's going to feel a bit, it's not necessary. You can also accomplish something similar with, text like this. It's just the text needs to look more premium. This text doesn't look premium. None of the text here is, I mean, it could be better. It could be way better, so I think that's the key thing. All of this text can be way better, and that itself will just have a much bigger impact. So yeah, those are just a couple things. I do like the fact that you're adding text now to thumbnails. I think it's important because what happens is the viewer will eventually get fatigued with not knowing which video they've watched. So like, let's say I'm on YouTube and I'm scrolling, right? What's going to happen is my brain will automatically skip a thumbnail. It thinks that I have consumed already, right? It's not going to be like, oh my God, William Brown, right? It's going to be like, oh, I've probably seen this. So I would recommend you to, instead of talking about things the way you do, don't specifically like say all the mistakes I've made on YouTube so you can avoid them. Rather say something like the $100,000 mistake I made on YouTube, right? That would work better. Or my biggest lessons in content creation that made me X million dollars, right? That is something you should think more about doing. The outcome is something important. So typically the kind of things that people resonate with is an outcome. Whether it is positive or negative, there still needs to be an outcome, right? So all the mistakes I've made on YouTube so you can avoid them, there isn't an outcome there. I mean, what do I get from watching? I really don't know. If you look again at the stuff that has worked for you, right? And I won't even look at the most popular stuff, but let's say I scroll down a bit. Okay, the ones that have gotten 20,000, 30,000 views, like this one, a simple one-person business that will make $8,000 a month in 2025. I know the outcome. Mike Thurston shares 10 years of YouTube knowledge in one video. I know the outcome. How I'd make $10,000 a month ASAP. I know the outcome. I made $466,000 from YouTube in 30 days. I know the outcome. Right? And not just that, you're also proving it to me by showing it in the thumbnail. And let's talk something about thumbnails in general. First thing is that the kind of people William wants to target already know who Sam Ovens is, right? Sam Ovens is the guy that you see here. Now, because of that, and let's assume some people don't know, okay? What you still need to do is make a thumbnail that is something like this. So Robert had made this video, and this is the thumbnail. He tried a couple different versions, but this is the thumbnail he ended up landing on. How to think like a billionaire. And that, you see, again, what I told you, what's the outcome? Just focus on the outcome. This is the outcome. How to think like a billionaire. Or the billionaire who lived simply. Again, you see, there's no outcome here, which is why this is the best performing thumbnail out of all of them that, the team has used. This is the kind of vibe I think you should create. Of course, you don't have to make it super aesthetic like this. Just have pictures of you and Sam Ovens ideally beside each other, or you can just get your designer to just take a picture from somewhere and put it together like this. And, think like a billionaire, or billionaire secrets, or, billionaire mindset, right? That is probably what will convert better, because that's what your target audience cares about. It's not about the lessons you learn, but it's about what they will learn at the end of the day. Cool that the title says 5 business lessons I learned from my billionaire mentor, but I would also recommend adding Sam Ovens' name in brackets, and then also just using a picture that makes it clear that this is Sam Ovens, because quite a lot of people know who he is now. So yeah, those are just a couple things. There's of course a lot more that I could go into for things that he could be doing better, but just these are a few quick things that if implemented, I think would have a massive impact. At least it would make more videos go above the range of 5 to 7K views, and you would have more videos making 20K, 30K views for you, which would of course double or triple your conversions probably. So yeah, if you're a business owner, by the way, and if you want potentially to get results for your YouTube channel, link in description, we can have a chat. And if you want an audit of your channel as well, DM me on Instagram or X, and we'll see if I can make it happen.